Saskatchewan communities underwater, how residents are coping trying to stay afloat. A Saskatchewan food bank flooded, how Meadow Lake is dealing with yet another setback. And adaptive dancing, a Saskatoon talent turning heads on the international stage.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the flooding situation in Saskatchewan. We'll start in the RM of Lakeside, east of Saskatoon, where residents are dealing with the aftermath of severe flooding. Hallie Mandrick on the helplessness many feel.
This body of water used to be Leslie Fetter's backyard, but many of his possessions now sit underwater thanks to the significant flooding which has impacted many in the Watson area.
You can see how the water got about 30 feet from the house by the shoreline, all the grass and reeds that are left over there. There's concern. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of water and you can't control it.
One of many communities under a state of local emergency due to the flooding, Watson is feeling the impacts of Saskatchewan's late snow melt.
No, it's going to be a lot of work to get things back to where it was and get things cleaned up and looking half decent again, but
the flooding has also been top of mind for emergency service workers like the Watson Fire Department.
There was a threat on Sunday morning. It went over the highway here west of town, and it was like, okay, we got to do something so our town doesn't flood. So basically at that point we set up detours, closed the highway down so no travelers were in jeopardy of getting hurt or anything. And then, from there it's basically you monitor, right? Mother Nature kind of does what she wants. And
down the road, Quill Lake has been under a state of local emergency since last Friday after severe flooding has left a series of roads in and around the community impassable.
No, this is the highest water levels I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've heard stories that maybe it's been as high or higher before, but I've never seen it.
Friesen says 54 separate sites in the area have either been completely washed out or damaged.
The majority of our grids have been impacted, so a lot of them have been closed down. We were running around trying to find routes where people could get from home to town or kids to school and stuff like that on the week or for Monday, and it was a real struggle. Like, it added probably 50-60 miles for some people.
While the flooding has caused a number of problems for the communities, Fetter says he's just thankful that everyone is safe.
Everybody's still standing, the house is still here, and like I said, now we can go fishing in the backyard if I want to.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, RM of Lakeside.
Turning now to Meadow Lake, where a flood has left the local food bank dealing with yet another setback. As CTV's Laura Woodward shows us, the damage is just one of the many problems with the aging building.
Earl Gower has been relying on the Meadow Lake Soup Kitchen for 4 years.
I usually come here and have dinner every day. And
he's one of about 100 people Meadow Lake Outreach Ministries feeds each day.
What would you like?
And he returns the favor, helping with cleanup.
Because they help me, I can help them.
Behind the soup kitchen is the food bank. Just last week, it was underwater.
It was a lot of water.
The flooding was triggered by a heavy spring snow melt and made worse by an aging building with poor drainage.
We took mops, we took vacuums, we tried to do whatever we could. We took buckets.
Staff rushed in to save supplies as city crews ran pumps inside.
We tried to get things dry as fast as we could.
The water damage has worsened existing black mold. It's the latest problem with this 90-year-old building.
And unfortunately, we have to put this blanket up here so we can block the cold from coming through this door and also the walls.
No matter where you look, it's falling apart. So we're between really needy and desperate.
And the flood may just be the tipping point, pushing the nonprofit toward a new build.
I'm just hoping and praying that we can get a new building. We really need it.
Right now, it's just a vacant lot, but Meadow Lake City Council has given the green light for the food bank to move here. The plan is to build a bigger space designed to help more people in need.
We're at this point talking two-story with offices basically upstairs. Downstairs would be the kitchen in the front and the food bank in the rear. And we're just toying with the idea of having perhaps some laundry facilities.
And a new, larger food bank has Gower's support.
Oh, I think it would be wonderful. This place is old, like me.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Meadow Lake.
The The RM of Buckland issued an evacuation order last night for several properties in the Shell River Heights area south of Highway 3. In a public notice, the RM said it's been working closely with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, the Buckland Fire Department, and Wahpeton Band Council to help mitigate damage from the flooding. Buckland Fire and Rescue, along with community volunteers, have spent hours at the Red River Roping and Riding Arena making sandbags to bring to high-risk areas. The volunteers began work on Monday.
So we've been taking them out to Wahpeton, and we've been taking them out to Shell River Heights right now, because that's where the most flooding is happening.
The RM says further updates will be provided through official emergency communication challenges. And all the residents dealing with flooding hoping for some dry weather. Jeff.
Dry weather, it looks like right now, mostly dry. It's not entirely out of the possibility that we might have some shower activity and maybe even some rain next week. But of course, for so many people, there's still snowpack to deal with in some parts of the province. Temperatures are going to be really quite warm. So we're going to see continuing to deal with the snowpack and reduce that. And of course, creating probably some more problems with regard to flooding. But let's hope that's not the case. Right now, a lot of quiet conditions across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We're keeping our eye on this system that is creating a bit of a disturbance, some active weather in Alberta, and some of that might make its way into Saskatchewan, but by the time it does, we're not anticipating a lot in the way of accumulation. But we'll talk about the numbers and the possibility of some showers later on.
A 14-year-old boy is one of two people charged in yesterday's crash on Idlewild Drive that critically injured an 82-year-old man. Police say the 82-year-old was driving a white van northbound on Idlewild Drive at about 8 a.m. when the dark-colored SUV heading southbound crossed into the median and struck the van, which then caught fire. Police say the SUV had been stolen out of Prince Albert. Corman Park police were trying to stop it, but it took off from officers. The 14-year-old is facing charges of dangerous driving, causing bodily harm, failure to stop after an accident, and evading police. He and a 24-year-old man are also facing a charge of possessing stolen property over $5,000. The man is additionally charged with breaching court-imposed conditions. A third person arrested has not been charged. The 82-year-old man remains in hospital. A Regina boy is safe and at home today thanks to the Regina Police Service with the help from the public. McFavel on the extensive search for the child after he was reported missing.
An 8-year-old boy who went missing from a Regina school is safe after a significant search by Regina Police Service and community members. The Regina Police Service first received the call around 12:20 p.m. that an 8-year-old boy who was nonverbal was missing and last seen at school near the 200 block of Hamilton Street. The boy was not dressed for the cool weather, and there was significant concern for his safety. Police set up a command center and pulled in additional resources for the search. A special program used for missing persons was also booted up. The program gave a detailed zoning map of where the child might have gone and when. Video surveillance played a part in the efforts, leading the search in the correct direction as well. At approximately 5:48 p.m., the child was found near the intersection of Ross Avenue and Winnipeg Street, well over 1.5 kilometers away from where he was last seen. He was taken to hospital to be checked and was released in good conditions. 80 officers were involved in the search, as well as community partners who put out the call. A number of tips were also called in, which helped in the search. McFavel, CTV News, Regina.
Former NDP MLA Betty Nippy Albright, who represents Saskatoon Centre, says she left the opposition caucus after being muzzled about the Compassionate Intervention Act. The newly passed law will force seriously addicted people into treatment. Nippy Albright says she commissioned a report critical of the bill, but was told by NDP leader Carla Beck not to talk about the report in the legislature. Wayne Mantika reports.
It was the last straw for former NDP MLA Betty Nippy Albright.
Well, the issue is this. I had prepared, based on this report, my response in Bill 48. And the directive was given to me by the leader to not make any reference to this report.
The bill allowing apprehension and involuntary treatment of those severely addicted passed in the legislature this week. A study commissioned for Betty Nippy Albright warned that the legislation as drafted creates a heightened and foreseeable risk of selective racialized enforcement. It drew a parallel to residential schools policy. The NDP voted against the bill, but Betty Nippy Albright suggests the party leader's views mirror those of the government.
Her statement about opposing Bill 48 has been performative when at the same time she has repeatedly stated she supports forced treatment.
Nippy Albright's departure to sit as an independent MLA caught the NDP by surprise.
I'm surprised because we moved 17 amendments to change the bill based on that study that Ms. Nippy Albright commissioned.
The NDP has lost a strong voice in the area of mental health and addictions. Reconciliation seems unlikely at this point. Betty Nippy Albright says she has no plan to return to the party, while NDP leader Carla Beck says trust has been broken. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
More than 102,000 surgical procedures were carried out in Saskatchewan in the last fiscal year, according to the province. That's an increase of more than 2,100 procedures from the previous year as the province works through its backlog. Expanded capacity, robot-assisted surgeries, and private partnerships are all credited as factors, along with changes to scheduling, referrals, and patient preparation. Saskatoon property owners will be receiving their tax notices in the coming days and weeks. The city says it started mailing out more than 102,000 property tax notices today. Anyone who doesn't receive one by May 31st should contact the city. The city of Saskatoon says it is also planning to launch a new online service this fall. My Property aims to give residents the option to view, download, and manage property tax and assessment notices, utility bills, and other services. An access code for the online platform will be included in the 2026 property tax notices being mailed out. The city is reminding people their property taxes for this year are due June 30th unless they are on the monthly payment plan known as TIPS. WorkSafe Saskatchewan has announced a new strategic framework on health, safety, and well-being. The framework focuses on the next generation of prevention and total employee health by taking a holistic approach. WorkSafe Saskatchewan launched in 2002, looking to improve the province's workplace injury rate. Then the injury rate was second highest in Canada at 4.95% of 100 workers.
We have developed something called learning collaboratives, where we bring employers together to focus on a very specific issue, whether it's challenges related to returning people to work or specific issues like ergonomics in manufacturing or psychological health and safety. Employers who are having similar issues, we're bringing experts into those groups, and we are working specifically with those employers to tackle those specific issues in those specific workplaces.
In 2025, 89% of Saskatchewan workplaces reported 0 injuries or fatalities. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are back in Saskatoon to kick off football season. Keenan Sorokon has more on the Riders' return to the football fields.
The boys are back in town. The defending Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders kicked off training camp Wednesday with rookies taking to the field.
You know, when you're off, you want it to come sooner, right? So now that we're out here, we're happy as ever. You know, players, staff, man, what a time.
More than 60 players are in Saskatoon for rookie training camp, which does include some exceptions like veteran quarterback Trevor Harris. Included in the crop of players are 2 Saskatchewan standouts in the Canada West Conference the last few years. Daniel Wiebe is looking to make the team after attending training camp last year, before going on to break team records with the U of S Huskies as a Heck Crichton finalist.
That's exciting, you know. I love to compete in every day's competition, so it's good to be back for sure. I still got a long ways to go for sure, you know. Today I didn't really play as good as I would like to, so got to be better tomorrow and got to go to the film room.
Carson Sombach signed his pro contract on Monday after a successful 5 years with the U of R Rams. Coming from a tight-knit football family where he and his 3 brothers grew up around the game, there's no other jersey he'd rather be wearing.
I grew up watching, born and raised in Regina, so it's just cool to be out on that field, wearing the logo and being around all the guys, all the coaches. It's been a super cool experience.
experience so far.
Sombach's brother Jackson plays for the Calgary Stampeders and has helped prepare him for what to expect for the long days of preparing for a professional football season as the grind of training camp begins.
I haven't had to practice that long in a while, so yeah, I'm feeling a little bit, but I'm going to go hit treatment and I'll be 100% for tomorrow.
Rookie camp continues Thursday and Friday before main camp opens on Sunday. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon dancer is taking center stage and breaking barriers while she's at it. With more than 2 decades of experience, Sherry Lynn Turgeon is proving that passion and perseverance can redefine what dance looks like. Carla Shinkaruk introduces us to this extraordinary dancer.
From her first moves at just 3 years old, Sherry Turgeon found her rhythm and never missed a beat.
Yeah, I love what I'm able to do. It's a lot of fun. It's my main source of activity.
Her journey has taken her across Canada and even to New York City, proving dance is about individuality and standing out.
Yeah, a lot of people think that because you're disabled, you can't do dance, or, you're meant to be in a care home or whatever. And I'm like, no, you can do whatever you put your mind to.
She performed at Telemiracle, film festivals, fashion runways to competition floors, challenging perceptions along the way. She recalls one memorable adjudication.
All you hear is the adjudicator just go, ah, when I went out on stage. And then by the end, she's like, I'm crying.
At the Dance World Cup, she didn't just show up, she showed off, taking home gold 3 times and making history as one of the only wheelchair dancers to qualify. And she qualified for Worlds again, heading to Quebec in July.
Oh, I'm thrilled for her. Sherry works so hard, and she is always at the studio.
Turgeon teaches here at this studio in Saskatoon, helping others with physical or other challenges find their groove.
She inspires kids who are watching her on stage and in class every day. That you can move and you can dance.
People are often curious when she dances, not just by the performance, but by the process behind it.
People just generally ask me, well, how do you do it? You're in a chair. And I said, you just adapt the movements.
For Turgeon, life isn't about sitting on the sidelines. It's about taking center stage and dancing to your own beat. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Nutrient Playland at Kinsman Park is scheduled to open just in time for Mother's Day. The city announcing the park will open for the season on Sunday. Visitors can take in the ticketed rides. Tickets are $3.50 each, or 8 for $21. One ticket gets you access to the Canpotex train, Ferris wheel, and carousel. Kids under 6 need to be with an adult, and tots 2 and under ride for free. The sand and climbing areas are free. The spray pad is also, but won't open until June 1st. Still to come, what an investigation into a popular AI assistant has revealed. Also, what's fueling a crime trend in Canada and the U.S. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. An investigation into ChatGPT, a popular AI assistant, found the company that created it violated privacy laws across the country. Judy Trin has more on the damning indictment from Canada's information and privacy watchdogs.
After an investigation that took 3 years, privacy commissioners from the federal government, BC, Alberta, and Quebec found that OpenAI violated privacy laws across the country as it developed its ChatGPT technology.
Our joint investigation highlights the importance of prioritizing privacy in the development, deployment, and ongoing evolution of artificial intelligence.
The joint investigation looked at ChatGPT's 3.5 and 4.0 models and found a lack of accountability. The models over-collected personal information. Users weren't asked for consent, false information was found in searches, and users couldn't correct the info.
To initially train ChatGPT, OpenAI scraped vast amounts of personal information from publicly accessible websites. This was widespread and indiscriminate.
Concerns about the lack of safeguards around ChatGPT have made headlines following the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting that showed OpenAI didn't flag troubling interactions to police. The company is facing several class action lawsuits in Canada and the U.S., but government regulation is lagging. Canada's privacy laws were developed more than 20 years ago.
We have also called on our government to regulate AI uses. The kind of regulation would require companies like OpenAI to evaluate the risks of this technology and to mitigate those risks before launch.
OpenAI was collecting sensitive information, such as health data and political views. The privacy watchdog says the company did fix some of those issues in later versions of its ChatGPT. The federal government is in the process of drafting new AI legislation, but for now, it's relying on private companies to police themselves. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
A troubling trend is being reported as Canadians grapple with high fuel prices. Alex Karpa on the lengths thieves are willing to go not to pay for gas.
Some are turning to unconventional methods to get their hands on fuel, a desperation move with gas prices soaring.
You know, they'll do it right here.
X marks the spot where people drill into fuel tanks with the intention of stealing gas directly from vehicles.
So they'll take a hole saw, they'll drill it in, and they'll stick a pipe in with a transfer pump, and it's done in minutes.
Mechanics have noticed a recent uptick in vehicles coming into their shop with gas tank damage, repairing a couple of cars a month.
It's pretty simple, but it's costly. I mean, we have to take the tank out, which on a lot of vehicles is 2 to 3 hours of labor. And then we have to bring it to a special place where they weld them, and then we put them back in.
And the theft is leaving individuals and businesses out hundreds of dollars.
So this is one of the trucks that was damaged.
Juliana Bartel says 2 of the trucks at her business were recently targeted.
We came to work in the morning and tried to fire up a truck, and it was making some weird sounds, so the guys went underneath the vehicle because we assumed our gas tank was drilled. And that's exactly what had happened.
Siphoning gas is the more traditional way to steal gas from a vehicle, but drilling a hole into the pump directly is a faster method.
It's just such a huge inconvenience.
RCMP say this type of theft is relatively common, especially in rural communities. Their advice, keep your car in a well-lit area and have cameras installed on your property. Similar incidents are also being reported elsewhere. Earlier this year, a suspect in BC's interior drilled into a gas tank and stole fuel from a pickup truck. Thefts like this are also being reported south of the border.
It happens fast and they're in and out.
As gas prices continue to rise, Jansen says he believes this theft could become a bigger issue. Alex Karpa, CTV News in Bloom North, Manitoba.
Honda is reportedly suspending plans to build an electric vehicle plant in Canada. The financial newspaper says slow U.S. demand pushed the Japanese automaker to put the plant on hold indefinitely. Honda was expected to invest $15 billion into the plant, which was slated to start operating as early as 2028. In a statement to CTV News, Honda Canada said the company has, quote, nothing to report at this time. Canada's finance minister says he hasn't lost hope about the facility. The cruise ship at the center of a deadly hantavirus outbreak has now left the coast of Africa for Spain's Canary Islands with nearly 150 people on board. Before departing today, 2 patients with the virus and 1 suspected of infection were evacuated from the vessel. There were 8 recorded cases and 3 people died. Health officials say passengers and crew members still on the ship are without symptoms. 2 Argentine officials investigating the origins of the outbreak said the leading hypothesis is that 2 passengers contracted the virus while birdwatching before returning to the vessel. The couple visited a landfill and may have been exposed to rodents. To the Middle East, where Iran now says ships can pass through the Strait of Hormuz under unspecified new procedures. But Iran insists it will continue to assert sovereignty over the strategic waterway and signaled plans to charge vessels for transit. Tehran says it is making the move after the U.S. paused its operation to escort ships through the strait, citing progress in peace talks. But the Americans are maintaining their blockade on Iranian ships in the region. Today, U.S. forces fired at an Iranian-flagged tanker carrying no cargo. The vessel was incapacitated as it attempted to sail toward an Iranian port in violation of the blockade blockade. Meanwhile, Tehran says it is reviewing an American peace proposal that sources say would formally end the war, followed by talks. However, the two sides remain at odds over a number of difficult issues, including Iran's nuclear ambitions and its control of the strait. Elsewhere, Israel struck Beirut for the first time since the fragile ceasefire with Hezbollah began last month. Israel says it targeted a commander of the militant group. Israeli troops have remained in areas of southern Lebanon where strikes have continued. Iranian ally Hezbollah has responded by firing and launching armed drones toward Israeli positions. And Russia has ignored a unilateral Ukrainian ceasefire, firing dozens of drones in nighttime attacks that killed at least 2 people. One of the strikes hit a kindergarten school in the city of Sumy. There were no students there at the time, but 2 people in the building were killed. The truce declared by Ukraine began at midnight local time. There had been no official sign from Moscow that it would heed the ceasefire. The Ukrainian truce followed the Kremlin, saying it would pause hostilities on Friday and Saturday to mark the anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany. The Russians threatened a massive attack on Kiev if their ceasefire is violated. All right, Jeff, many people looking ahead to the weekend for many reasons, including your forecast.
Well, I think mostly Mother's Day, but they come together as one because we've got ourselves a nice forecast for Mother's Day, generally speaking. And so if you're looking for warmer temperatures, they are on their way. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on for our specific numbers right now. It is 11 degrees in Saskatoon, 10 in Prince Albert, and 13 in the Battleford. And as you can see, not particularly windy. It's been a pretty pleasant day if what you're looking for is warm temperatures and not much wind. And Saskatoon's almanac, 13 degrees for a high today. That's 3 degrees below seasonal. 32, that was the record warm temperature in 1911. The record cold temperature, minus 13 in 1907. Sun came up at close to 5:30 in the morning, and it's going to go down at 8:40.
Coming up, from a bird's eye view, the new perspective one BC man has gained and why.
Centennial Cup set to begin Thursday on Your Morning. We are checking in with Flin Flon Bombers as they start their quest for a National Junior A title.
Moose legs galore. There we go. It's a Flin Flon tradition. There you go. Hey, look at this sky. Big and blue, a little wispy cloud out there, but all in all, it was a pretty pleasant day if you happen to be outdoors today in Saskatoon. Warm and not really windy. We can tell you that there's not a lot of active weather in Saskatchewan yet. We are keeping our eye on this situation here. This could be, right now it's just mostly rain, but in the interior of BC and some parts of Alberta could see some thunderstorm activity, particularly for BC, not great because while it's been, while the rain is a good idea, these thunderstorms could also spark up some wildfires because it's been quite dry in the interior. Speaking of hot temperatures, wow, Lytton, BC hit 33.5 yesterday. It's been summer-like temperatures out there, and that warm air is coming our way. We'll get to that in a little bit here. 11 degrees in Saskatoon, 10 in Prince Albert, and 13 in the Battlefords as we speak. Maple Creek was the hot spot today at 15, minus 14 for Key Lake and Collins Bay. They are the provincial cold spots. Around the province we go. Currently, it is 13 degrees in Lloydminster, but if you bet on the number 11, woohoo, you're a winner because there are a lot of 11s there. Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Regina, and Estevan. Yorkton at 8 degrees, a bit on the cool side, comparatively speaking. It's 7 in Wynyard. It gets as warm as 13 in Kindersley and the Battlefords, 12 in Meadow Lake. A number of locations around that 8 or 9 degree mark. It's 12 in Rosetown, 10 in Watrous. Up north, well, no one on, at least on this part of our map, on the minus side of the temperature, but it's still cool enough in Collins Bay where it's 1 degree, but it warmed up to 9 in Buffalo Narrows, 5 degrees in Stony Rapids, Key Lake, and La Ronge, 4 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls, and 3 in South End. Temperatures in the Southland, most places in the double digits, with the exception of Melville and Broadview on this part of our map. Melville at 8 and 9 in Broadview. Otherwise, basically around 11 or 12 degrees, but it does warm up to 15 in East End, 14 in Maple Creek. Making our way to our future cast, as you can see, those pressure lines staying fairly far apart, so we don't anticipate a windy Thursday in store. But you can certainly see the computer showing, there might be some rain, but it's really scattered in nature, and so we don't expect much in the way of precipitation in terms of rainfall amount. Cloudy or mainly cloudy skies for the north with temperatures in the high single digits or into the low teens. And then we've got ourselves temperatures of 18 in Meadow Lake, 17 in Spiritwood, 21 in Kindersley, Rosetown 20. Temperatures in the high teens, low 20s for the southwest with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. A little cooler in the southeast, but still nicely at or above seasonal values, around 16 degrees in the southeastern part of the province. And a similar temperature pattern for east central Saskatchewan, basically around 15 degrees with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. More clouds or increasing clouds for the Battlefords, 1 degree overnight, 19 tomorrow. A bit on the breezy side in the Battlefords tomorrow, 16 on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday, Mother's Day, 22 degrees, mainly cloudy skies, and starting off the work week at 18 and warmer than that on Tuesday and Wednesday. For Prince Albert and area, -3 overnight, 16 degrees tomorrow, not much of a wind. And then we have 12 with a chance of showers on Friday, Saturday mainly cloudy and 13, but warming up to 18 for Mother's Day, a chance of showers on Monday to start the work week, but 20 on Tuesday and Wednesday, 21 for a high. Saskatoon's overnight temperature, -1 degree with increasing clouds. Tomorrow, temperatures warming up to 18 degrees, so a couple of points above seasonal. 16 on Friday and Saturday, a chance of showers on Friday. And then we've got ourselves 16 on Saturday, 21 for Mother's Day, and a chance of showers on Monday, 17 degrees, and then warming up to 23 by Wednesday. Media mogul and CNN founder Ted Turner has died. Turner Enterprise announced the news today, saying Turner died peacefully surrounded by family. The brash Atlanta businessman and philanthropist, sometimes called Captain Courageous, as well as the mouth of the South, built a media empire which included cable channels and major league sports teams, including the Atlanta Braves. He was also an avid environmentalist. Ted Turner had been battling Lewy body dementia in recent years. He was 87. All right. Some big stars are lending their talents to the Rolling Stones' latest album. The new album, titled Foreign Tongues, will be released on July 10th. It will feature the group's late drummer, Charlie Watts, as well as Paul McCartney, The Cure's Robert Smith, and Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer, Chad Smith. And Ontario Dairy is teaming up with the Tragically Hip as it releases a new flavor of ice cream. Kawartha Dairy says the new offering is a mix of maple whiskey-flavored ice cream with dark chocolate chunks and cherry ripple. The company notes it was founded in Bobcaygeon, which is also the name of one of the Hip's beloved songs, and it's being named the Tragically Chip. It goes on sale in late June, with a portion of the sales going to Breakfast Club of Canada. Up next, Wheat Kings and pralines. Sure. How about blow it high cookie dough? Those are just suggestions from me.
We'll let the company know. Maybe they'll hire you on as a consultant.
Yeah, I see that happening, sure.
For now, let's talk pick of the day. I understand you have a two-parter.
We do have a two-parter to wrap things up. We're going to start off with this one, though. It's a one-parter. This comes to us from Renato. Ladybug with crocus taken from the MVA Crocus Park. That is a lovely shot there. Great close-up, so thank you, Renato. Next from Bonnie, flock of snow geese by Radisson. A great action shot there. And here's our two-parter from Dawn. I'm sending you two photos. The first from a distance to show you what caught my eye. Okay, there's a big nest there. And the second shows what my eye caught. There may be eggs in this nest. As I understand, these hawks lay their eggs in March and April. And yes, this picture, I've had this picture for a couple of weeks, so this came in on April the 15th. So thank you very much, Dawn. That's a great nature shot there. And yes, I hope there's a successful hatching going on there. And if you'd like to hatch a photo and send it our way, well, you can certainly do so by sending it to CFQC News at ctv.ca. And please put pick of the day in the subject line to get it on the right way to us.
Still to come on CTV News, finding calm among feathered friends. The BC man with a newfound appreciation and perspective. If If nature is medicine, one self-described grumpy man in Victoria is making sure he gets several doses each week. He says spending time outdoors helps him appreciate his life and connect with a friend who is no longer in it. Adam Sawatsky explains.
Well, the baby birds don't seem to have a care in the world. The same couldn't always be said for Alan.
Thinking of what I have to do today, what I have to do tomorrow, worried about politics, worried about the news.
The sorts of things Alan would joke and debate about with his friends.
Our main thing was to have grumpy old guys' lunches.
Yet here he is now, watching a gaggle of goslings indulge in their lunch.
Being in nature softens the edges.
Like sandpaper can smooth the roughest wood, downy birds seem to have the power to soften the toughest people.
Takes the edges off.
Which is why Alan started, at least 4 days a week, to stop at places like this.
It's just a way of clearing my mind.
Which can make room to see all sorts of things, including this new feathered family, differently than we did.
It's a cycle of life to see animals in nature as well as to deal with your own mortality.
And that's why, after appreciating the birds, Alan will wander over to the water.
And I always just come up beside the bench here.
To visit the bench dedicated to his late friend, Jack.
I learned from him to be more tolerant and to listen to people and to just accept the way they are.
And instead of being overwhelmed by the politics that divide us or the news that worries us, these moments have taught Alan to focus on what connects and comforts us.
Take care of each other. Be aware of your friends, your family, and your community, and do what you can.
And on this journey, from the beginning of life to the inevitable end of it, take the time to relish every moment in between. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
When we come back, a boost for canola in the Saskatoon area, and later a hero send-off for the Prince Albert Raiders.
All right, let's take a look at our rural forecast for Thursday, and things are warming up. You can certainly see that towards the western border. We've got ourselves 28 degrees for a high in Lloydminster, 21 in Kindersley, 18 in Meadow Lake, 17 in Spiritwood, 19 in Outlook. It gets a little cooler, but still close to seasonal for other locations like Hudson Bay, 15 degrees, Wynyard, 14 degrees. Let's make our way south down closer to the Trans-Canada. And yes, we do have temperatures in the 20s. That's towards the western side of the province, a little cooler, as often is the case towards the eastern side of Saskatchewan. 14 in Kenora, 15 in Broadview and Carlisle. There's also 15 in Rockland, but Rockland is going to be getting a chance of showers. It's about a 30% chance of some showers down south. What about Hanley? Well, Hanley is going to be at hitting about 18 degrees, cloudy skies in the Hanley area, and winds in the afternoon about northwesterly at 20. It's going to take a while, so in the morning it won't be a particularly strong wind. And Hanley is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
A man who devoted more than 3 decades to baseball in Saskatchewan and Canada is being honored posthumously. Jim Baba has been named as the first winner of the Canadian Baseball Network's Lifetime Builder Award, which will be named the Jim Baba Award. Jim Baba Field at Nutana Kiwanis Park was named in his honor in 2022. Baba served as the Executive Director for Baseball Canada between 2000 and 2021. Before that, he was the Director of Operations for Baseball Saskatchewan. He was inducted into the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame in 2008 and will be inducted posthumously into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in June. Jim Baba died last September at the age of 69. Trade representatives from Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are in Regina this week for a tri-national conference. The Premier delivered the keynote address at the North American Strategy for Competitiveness annual Continental Reunion earlier today. In his speech, Mo also addressed recent trade tensions between Canada and the U.S., emphasizing the importance of the economies of all 3 countries working together.
And the reality is this, that our economies, Canada, the United States, and Mexico, are deeply integrated, and they're integrated for a reason, a very important reason. This integration is what underpins North America's food, energy, and manufacturing security. So let me start.
About 150 senior political and business leaders attend the annual conference, which rotates host cities between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. It's hoped Saskatchewan will remain a global leader in canola crop science thanks to a $27 million expansion to a canola breeding center near Saskatoon. BASF leaders from Canada, North America, and Germany broke ground at the site just outside of the city. Once operational at the end of next year, researchers will have access to the latest technology when it comes to hybrid canola research, building on 30 years of the company's innovation. Canada currently contributes more than $43 billion of the world's $53 billion of canola, a market that's expected to grow over $72 billion by 2032. The expansion and upgrades to the canola breeding center of innovation are expected to keep InVigor hybrid canola as the leader for Canadian farmers. Today, roughly 3 out of every 5 canola fields are growing InVigor.
We're a global organization. We spend money and invest money all around the world. To be able to get this investment in Canada is just tremendous news for Canadian farmers and canola producers. So we're just so excited that they're going to have access to this world center of excellence.
For its part, BASF says it will continue to return roughly 10% of its earnings back into research and development. The U.S. is feeling the effects of Canadians refusing to buy American liquor. Morella Fernandez has more on that.
The U.S. Distilled Spirits Council says exports fell almost 4% last year, and that's led to job losses in the industry. About 1,000 jobs were lost at American distilleries between September of 2024 and September of 2025. The council says spirit sales to Canada were down 63% in 2025. Some provinces pulled American products off shelves in response to Washington's tariffs. And now the EU is threatening to tariff liquor products from the U.S. this summer. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.34. West Texas Intermediate down over $7 to 95.08. Western Canadian Select down over $3 to 80.87. And the TSX spiked 414 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is currently just over $1.87 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.79.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco jumped $12.51, and Nutrien finished the day at $100.81. Coming up, the Raiders on the road they hope will lead them to victory. Then the robots joining the ranks of the monks.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Master Chef. Well, the Raiders getting a big send-off as they left Prince Albert this morning. Hockey fans were out early to send off the team as they traveled to Everett for the start of the WHL final. The Raiders rode a bus to Saskatoon where more fans greeted the team. They jumped on a plane to Calgary, and from there, the team flew to Seattle. The Raiders team bus already made the trip and will be waiting for the players in Washington. Game 1 goes Friday night at 8 Saskatchewan time. It's nice to see fans early in the morning.
Very good, yeah. Wishing them well, and fingers crossed for the Raiders in Washington State.
Absolutely. All right, well, to South Korea, where the country's first humanoid robot has become a Buddhist monk. I know you love the robot stories. So. The 130-centimeter tall robot named Gabby attended an ordination ceremony at a temple in Seoul. It wore traditional robes, promising to the monks there that it would commit itself to Buddhism. Before joining their ranks, Gabby replied when asked to repeat a phrase that included, "Yes, I will devote myself." The ceremony took place ahead of birthday celebrations for Buddha on May 24th. So never a shortage of robot uses.
No, exactly. And once the robots start to join the ranks of the Shaolin monks, then we're in trouble. Exactly. Kung Fu.
Very interesting.
That's wild.
It is
really
kind of.
Is, yeah.
It is.
Not wild weather. Mild weather is certainly in store and actually warming up. Some say might be warmer than mild, but 7 degrees tomorrow at 9 a.m. by noon, 12 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. Mid-afternoon, about 18 degrees, and by the time we hit 5 o'clock, a bit more in the way of cloud cover. The wind shifts around a little bit, but 17 degrees, so a warm Thursday's in store.
And we think the double digits will stick around for...
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stick around for a while. Yeah, actually into next week, but some of those days, there was a possibility of some rain.
We'll wait and see, I guess.
That's right.
Thanks for watching.
That's exactly what you're going to do.
That's what we always do.